Hello, 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 beautiful people. This is Miss B, the goddess of empathy. The name is for you, but the title is for me. You can just call me Miss B. And I'm smiling because me and the sun and the clouds have been fighting. As you can see, the lighting behind me and the trees is absolutely beautiful. But the lighting in front of me, I look so chocolate. I love looking chocolate, but can you see me? Okay, so I'm going to come to you today about the Montgomery Brawl, giving you somewhat of my perspective, and then to make you an offer. So, if you're living under a rock, some of you may or may not know about the Montgomery Brawl, the incident that happened. Has it been a week? Some time ago, a couple of days ago, I'm not really sure. It was almost a week ago. A African American and or black, whatever floats your boat. Oh, pun intended. Whatever floats your boat. Riverboat worker was doing his job and needed a boat to move out so another boat can come in. And the African American riverboat worker asked the owner of the boat in said boat parking spot, to move. And they refused to move, and they were Caucasian, and they attacked the worker, and his co-workers came to his aid and his rescue, and then this people came out. So basically, it turned into a big fight, now known as the Montgomery Brawl. So everybody has their perspective and thinks what's going on, and there's so many memes. And we as Black people, we use our humor to kind of get through things. That's what we do. Some of it's serious, but sometimes we can't take ourselves too seriously. But you know, on that note, but everybody, it's important how everybody has a role to play in what's going on right now. Everybody has a responsibility to themselves. So this is why I come to you. This is why I come to you. It's important that when things happen, it's important to kind of look at the history, and it's important to look at what's going on presently in the news. So I'm not going to bore you and give you a history lesson. I'm just going to give you a few things that I noticed or picked up on. So globally, as far as globally, what's going on in Africa right now, there are a lot of moving pieces and things that are going on in Africa now, specifically South Africa. So I highly recommend that you Google South Africa and farmers. The people are uprising against farmers in South Africa. So do that Google search. As well, there's some things going on in the city of Niger in the regarding sanctions, and they're being very strategic in trying to tap into the resources of Niger, which is the uranium and the gold. And uranium is very important for electricity, and also Russia has a hands in it. Putin has himself involved in it with Russia. So there's a lot of moving pieces. It's a lot of moving pieces to what's going on right now globally regarding African people. And so there's a lot of unrest that's going on right now on the continent of Africa. Don't just take my word for it. Google and find out for yourself. So again, that's one of the things that's going on globally and internationally. Now, as far as in the United States, as far as nationally here in the United States, again, the Montgomery Brawl in Alabama. And my maternal family is from Alabama. I have a grandmother there. One thing that I want to point out, Southern blacks are different than Northern blacks, or Southern blacks are a lot different than East Coast blacks when you talk about in America. And the difference is, in my opinion, in my years of living, is that Southern blacks are a lot less militant, and for them to rise up and the way things happened the way they did speaks volumes. And there's so many messages in that, how they stood up. I listened to a lot of the live um, feeds or broadcasts, the live streams that some of the black people who were involved. And one of the things that they mentioned was that they were like a family, you know. they were like a family, and they saw each other as family, and they really highly respected the man who was doing his job. He was seen like a they were like a family. They looked at each other like, even though it was a job, they were kind of very close, and they stuck together. So that says a lot about African people and what's going on. So listen to hear me what I'm saying. And so everybody played a role. The young man who swam, who they call an Aquaman or whatever they Aquaman or whatever they want to call him, he represented, of course, health because we need to be physically healthy. He represented the youth. We have to have allow the youth to have a role to play in these things. The men had their responsibility, handled the men, and the women handled the women. So we got the youth, we got the men, we got the women, and we got the elders. Everybody was working together. Everybody was working together for this ultimate goal to protect this man and protect what was going on. So again, that's what's happened as far as during the nation. Now it's also important to think about what's going on locally. I am in upstate New York. I'm in Albany, New York. I am next to Saratoga Springs, one of the most financially wealthy counties in New York. And just last week in Saratoga Springs, the Proud Boys showed up. So the Proud Boys are now in Saratoga, in upstate New York. And that was actually on our local news. So all these things are kind of going into place. There's been a lot of feedback as far as people believing that the ancestors equipped and were there during the Montgomery Brawl. So, if you don't know, 24 hours prior to the Montgomery Brawl was the Trump rally. And actually, 2 hours before the brawl, before I say that, I do want to say this. Oh, the sun's coming its way. Okay. Yeah, 24 hours was the Trump rally. And also, the last known slave ship, which is the Catilda, was actually the last known slave ship was found at the bottom of the Mobile River in 1860. That happened in Alabama. The name of the ship was called, well, not that ship. That was the Catilda. The Montgomery Brawl, the name of that boat that was trying to come in and dock in, was called the Harriet. So all these things were playing into place. So now we got 24 hours before the brawl, the Trump rally happened, and approximately 2 hours before the brawl, there were a group of spiritual women, about 30 women, that came on that to the river during that time, and they blessed the ancestors by putting flowers in the water, and that was also that dock. That was a slave dock. That's where the ships would come in with the slaves many years ago. So they were spiritual women that came and blessed those waters and blessed the ancestors before it happened. So everybody has a role to play. So now, what does this have to do with you? You think, what does this have to do with me? What is Bernadette talking about? What is Miss B talking about? So everybody has a role to play. For some people, it may be just entertainment. For some people, they take this very seriously. Some people are readers and researchers, and they kind of take a, it may be political. They don't get involved. But I can tell you about me and what my purpose is. I am here right now for this. I am alive right now because of this incident. I believe it's a part of my purpose. So again, people were talking about the ancestors were there during my spiritual hypnotherapy, and I've been telling you guys about spiritual hypnotherapy, telling you I've introduced it to you, I explained it to you during my past live streams. I told you to watch the videos, to research Brian Weiss. I gave you the introduction to hypnotherapy and how it started with the slave, with the sleep caves. They would put them in the sleep caves and take them into hypnosis, and they would cure illness and cure disease. So if in fact it is your goal if to contact or reach out to your ancestors, then you can do that. You have the ability to do that through my spiritual hypnotherapy sessions. So if that's something you're interested in, and this is free. If there's something that you're interested in, I put a link in. The link is going to be to my Google form. You fill out that Google form, and then you can access and make sure you have an hour of uninterrupted time. You're going to fill out that Google form. I'm going to look at the form. I'm going to call you back or email you. We're going to organize a time. And then during that time, we're going to go into the hypnotherapy session. And if the ancestors have a message for you, they will meet you in that state of hypnosis and give you the answers that you need. So again, I need about an hour of your time. This is not for everybody. This is not for everybody. Everybody is not called. Everybody doesn't feel a responsibility. Even if you're not even interested in contacting your ancestors or reaching out to your ancestors, spiritual hypnotherapy can still help you. So if you're at a point in your life where you have some questions and you have some roadblocks, you can still take advantage of this. So this is what I'm going to do. I don't want to keep you too long. I don't want to keep you too long. So again, I'm going to put the link somehow here. I'm going to put the link in. You're going to click on that link. You're going to fill out the form. Then I'm going to reach out to you. And within a week or so, we're going to schedule an appointment for you to have your spiritual hypnotherapy session. As you wait for your appointment, I highly recommend that you pray or whatever you do, that you seek, that you, again, you're going to fill out that form. That form is going to help you with the questions. But if you feel called to this, if this Montgomery Brawl was something more to you than just, um, if it's more serious than to you than it is to other people, if you feel, if this triggered something in you regarding your ancestors and questions that you want to have answered for your life, fill out the form, have your session. What can it hurt? What can it hurt? And like I said, it's completely free. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me and I'll have that to you. So this is Ms.B, the goddess of empathy. The name is for you, but the title is for me. You can just call me Miss B. I want to say thank you for giving me your time today because you did not have to. And if you would like a free spiritual hypnotherapy session, again, we just need 1 hour of your time. Fill out that Google form, then I'll reach back out to you and we'll schedule it. And it'll be totally free of charge because this Montgomery Brawl, it happened for a reason, and the ancestors are speaking. And I specifically got a message to offer these services for free during this time, which is what I was doing anyway. But there's some people that need more answers, and I can help them get those answers if it's God's will. So again, this is Miss B, the goddess of empathy. The name's for you. The title is for me. You can just call me Miss B. Signing off. Peace and blessings.